Hey everyone, I do hope everyone is doing okay and feeling really well. Oh, and welcome to the channel. Oh my god, I forgot to say that. Welcome to my videos, my channel, and me. Today's video was inspired by Shelly and Colleen from 1000 Splendid Dolls here on YouTube and on Flickr. I do have a really itchy eye, and unfortunately I am wearing makeup, girl. If you couldn't tell, I mean, I am natural, but what? No, but basically I do have like lashes and eyeliner, so I can't itch it and it's driving me insane. If you can relate, then let me know down in the comments, because this is one feeling that really drives me up the wall to the ceiling. Anyway, so today I am going to be sharing some of my BRATZ like childhood memories and kind of like stories, and this was, like I said, inspired by Shelly's kind of like series about her dolls and her childhood, and I do believe the series is called Dolly Tales, I think. So yeah, I really do enjoy those type of videos, and even though I was inspired, this concept, this idea has been in my mind for a while. Anyway, so if you guys want to see this and hear about me talk about my dolls, if that made any sense, then stick around. I want to show you some dolls I did have as a child, well, as many as I can remember, because I had a lot back then, girl. Like, I had a lot. Not as many as now, by no means, but I had a lot. So everyone I can remember, I will either show you in person if I have them in my collection. If not, I will include a photo of them at some point through the video. Anyway, so the first one I am going to show you is my Soccer Chloe, and this one was a really big part of my childhood. I remember her being in so many games when I was younger, because I was like legit like a proper storyline person. I don't know about you guys, but when I played with my dolls, I had like full-on scripts, girl. Like in my head, I planned it out. I had everything set out. It was like, you know, a soap. I was there for it. So anyway, she was involved in a really big storyline in my dolls, like, you know, world. And believe it or not, one of my Jades was going out with a Sutton doll from my scene. Now, I will include a photo of the exact Sutton doll I had in my collection. I got a set of the, I think it was A Night on the Town or Night on the Town. Madison and Sutton for Christmas one year, and I was like, oh, what are these? Because I'd never had my scene, and I wasn't like a Barbie boy back when I was younger, so it was weird for me to have something like not BRATZ. I had a Sutton. I had no BRATZ boys back in the day, so basically I had Sutton as one of my Jade's boyfriends. Now, I don't remember the Jade doll, unfortunately. However, I did have like a house set up, and I had like a little kitchen and a living room and a bedroom, and they all lived together like all my BRATZ. And basically, the Soccer Chloe cheated. Yes, girl, I was keeping it real even back then. Like, I was way too deep in my doll games for my age, like, genuinely. She cheated with Sutton on Jade and then flat out admitted it to Jade to her face. I mean, talk about savage. Chloe, you got no, like, have you got no soul, no compassion? And they fell out for ages in my game. Like, they were throwing each other shade. So that was one thing I did. One thing I used to do, because I've always been like a little bit OCD, a bit obsessive compulsive, and I had to wash my dolls every night, like every night, non-stop. So I could not miss it. So basically I washed them all in the sink with washing up liquid. I washed their hair, the lot, and then I would basically sit down on my couch with all of my BRATZ clothes, and I would dress them for the next day, and I would sit on the couch and watch Saddle Club on Pop Girl. Tell me if you guys used to watch Pop Girl and like Saddle Club and Sleepover Club and like Totally Spies, was it something? Oh my god, I loved all those shows. I would do that every night without fail, and then I would sit them all down on my couch, and then I would come down the next day and they would all be there waiting for me. So that was something I used to do as well. And oh, I mean, imagine the poor girls, they were going bald. Something I should know is that not many of these dolls are mine that I had as a child. Unfortunately, I lost a lot of them through like moving, and like I'm sure I gave some to my nieces way back in the day. Like, oh my god, I don't know where they are now. RIP queens, I love you. Shout out to you girls, you gave me so much fun when I was a kid. kid. Anyway, I only have 2 dolls that were actually mine from my childhood, which I will show you in a moment. One of them you have seen like on multiple occasions on my channel, so that's not going to be a shock to you. These 2 dolls I have big memories of, mainly because of their outfits, if I'm going to be honest. This Chloe is Hollywood style Chloe, and I remember having her outfit. Now, I'm thinking like, when I was a kid, I didn't have any second-hand Bratz dolls, okay? I didn't go and pick them up from like, you know, flea markets or car boot sales or like online. I mean, obviously like eBay wasn't a thing back then, was it? I mean, was it? Was it? No, surely not. I don't think so. Anyway, so this is the Ooh La La Kumi and the Hollywood style Chloe. Now, these two, I remember like really vividly having their outfits as a child. The really cute thing that I think's cute anyway, well, you guys might not, but I do. This is my actual dress from when I was a kid. Now, I do have the 2 dolls and some of the outfits I had as a kid in my collection, so this was mine, and look at the condition, like, I mean, come on. I looked after my dolls so well, like, I loved and adored my dolls. I still do now, like, I mean, nothing's changed really. Now, Kumi does have a cute story behind her, because when I was a kid, I was friends with this girl on my walk, and my brother, one of my brothers, was friends with her brother, and we used to stay over together, and he would stay in his room and play on the PlayStation, and I would stay in her room and play dolls and watch, like, movies and all that stuff. We would watch, like, Rock Angels on repeat. Like, we loved that film, and I still do. Like, it's my favourite now. We would play with our dolls. I would take mine over and we would, like, you know, play with each other's and like swap outfits and whatnot. When I was a kid, I would sit there, even though I was, you know, like quite spoiled. Not spoiled, but I didn't want for anything really. And I did have a lot of Bratz dolls myself, but I would sit there and look and think, I don't have that one. I want that one. Like, why don't I have that one? And I would sit there thinking for ages, like, I want that doll, I want that doll. Like, I was a jealous little, like, thing. And basically we had such a good time. She was a massive Bratz fan, and if I remember rightly, I think at one point she gave me her entire Bratz collection because she was quite a bit older than me. And yeah, we are not friends now, but the memories I have of playing with our Bratz dolls in the room and like watching Bratz films will always stay with me. It's a very fun memory to me, and Kumi was one of the dolls I remember playing with around at her house, and I am sure this was one she had and I didn't at the time. And I remember feeling like so envious, like in my stomach. I was like, oh my god, I really want that doll. And I'm sure I got her at some point, I'm absolutely certain. Or maybe I got her when she gave me her collection, I don't know. But basically I have that really strong, like, fond memory of Kumi and of that special time. So yeah, this is my Designed by Chloe, and you guys will know her. Like, she has been on my channel on numerous occasions, okay? She was in my first ever like big video I had here on my channel, which was my how to wash, straighten and style Bratz doll hair, and she was the doll from that video. And she was also in my like latest Q&A video, and she has a really super special place in my heart. Like, I have such good memories with this doll as well, because when I was a kid, she was one of my favourites. I loved her fur coat, the leopard print fur coat, which unfortunately I don't have in my collection currently, but it's so special to me that she was the one I had as a kid. Like, this is my exact Designed by Chloe doll, and I have a lot to be thankful for to this doll for being my, like, you know, being in my biggest video today. She is adorable. She has so many split ends and stuff, but she was well loved, and yeah, I just love her. My granddad used to take us shopping every weekend, me and my mum, and sometimes like my siblings and stuff, and we would do our weekly shopping. Now, however, I knew that when we went shopping I would get a new Bratz doll, because I would go into Woolworths or WH Smith, I think it was WH Smith had dolls as well. I would go into there and I would sit there at the doll aisle and think, okay, who can I get? And sometimes I would get 2, sometimes 1, but I was very lucky, and I know that, and I am so thankful to my mum for giving me such, you know, a special childhood, because I know some boys growing up don't get to have dolls even if they want them or are interested in them, and that makes me so sad. My mum was like my biggest supporter. She like fought everyone so I could play with dolls. Like, she's like, you know, he loves them, they're what he wants, and all of my other kids had what they want to play with, and so's he. So she always, like, you know, defended me, and I love that. So thank you, Mum. And to anyone out there struggling with parents, my heart goes out to you. I hope it gets better for you one day. I remember going there and like going back to my granddad's, who is sadly not with us anymore, and I would open the dolls there, and it was such a special time in my life. I remember having as one of my last BRATZ dolls before I, like, you know, grew out of them for a bit, was the wintertime Yasmin, and I have like such vivid memories of opening her in my granddad's house. And even though I had such bad travel sickness as a kid, I would still go all that way in the car to the shops, and I would probably end up throwing up. I know, TMI, but I wanted that BRATZ doll, girls, so I would do it. There was a period in time I became extremely very obsessed with horses. Now, I'm not saying like necessarily like, you know, BRATZ horses or BRATZ ponies. I had a lot of horses, but they weren't, you know, of the BRATZ franchise. They might have been like, you know, all different types of horses from other brands, but not necessarily BRATZ. So anyway, but the BRATZ do still kind of play a part in this, so that's why I'm going to talk about it. When I started to watch Saddle Club, I became very obsessed. I went and did like horse riding lessons. I know, how highbrow is that? Like, you won't get me on a horse now, girl, because I mean, I'd fall off. And I'm not gonna smudge your wing for no horse, alright, soz. I used to go to a stable. Well, I went to a stable one year for my birthday and like got to look after a horse, which was so cute. And then I had lots of horse toys, and one of my favourite dolls back then was the rodeo Yasmin. This Yasmin was my favourite Yasmin. I used to do her hair in like these two plaits going around here and then two ponytails. Oh girl, she lived for that fantasy. Like, I love that doll, and she would always be the one who looks after the horses, because I felt like she had like, you know, a maternal kind of like motherly kind of instinct about her. Even though, you know, she was a doll, I got that vibe from watching the series on the TV. This is the fashion designer Chloe, and I have had her for quite a long time, so it's pretty embarrassing that she is still sat here waiting on a makeover, but sorry girl, I do love you, and you're about to get your moment to shine, honey. Now, when I was a kid, I became an uncle at the age of 5, and I do have a lot of nieces and nephews now, but at the time, that was my first nephew, and we kind of grew up like 5 years apart, so we were like playing with toys at the same time, and he loved Ben 10. I used to always be the companion of Ben 10 with this Chloe, and she was like 10 times the size of the Ben 10 figure. Like, he was this big, so I love this girl as well. Now, this one was one from my childhood who was mine. This is the Forever Diamonds Katia, and I love this doll as well, and her hair has a lot of split ends and flyaway pieces as well, because I probably like overwashed and brushed their hair. So here is a close-up of these two beauties, and again, look, not a lip chip in sight. I care for my dolls so freaking much. So on Halloween, I made outfits for my dolls out of like all sorts, and I would make them little like trick-or-treat bags and put actual sweets in them. And gross fact, when I was a kid, a few years later, I found the bag with sweets in, and they had like, you know, gone all rotten. Oh, it was horrible. And I used to prefer to stay in and make my dolls trick-or-treat rather than me go out. I know, sad, but that's what I did. Then I used to have a bag of dolls which were BRATZ as well, but they weren't my favourites, and they stayed in the bag in the cupboard. I know that is horrible. Those poor queens, I don't know who they were now. Then I used to have a running storyline that my dolls were like proper singers, and I would play like the Hannah Montana CDs and make them sing to them, and they used to live their best life and like go and support each other. It was a really good time. So basically what I now want to do is just like list a few dolls and insert a few photos of dolls I had that I don't have in my collection now, but I do have good memories with. off the top of my head, I can't remember like other dolls, like the exact dolls I had, but they're ones I can remember, and I'm not gonna lie and like make ones up because I want to do that. These ones are all ones I actually remember having. If I ever like, you know, think of more stories or remember anything else, I might do a part 2, or when I get like more of my dolls that I had as a kid into my collection, I might do a part 2 and show you them. Oh girl, that is embarrassing. Let me know down in the comments if you guys would be interested in a part 2 if I have enough stuff to make a part 2. And I hope you enjoyed this. Like I said, it was a little bit of like a talky, chatty video, just like, you know, reminiscing and talking about my brats as a kid. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, leave me a lovely comment. Don't forget to click the notification bell to be notified when I upload a brand new video. And of course, subscribe to be notified, not notified, and subscribe to see more from me in the future. That's because I am speaking way too fast. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed. I love you all so much. And for now, I will see you all in my next one. Mwah. Bye guys.